Let's start with the third and count down to the first place, uncovering the biggest events that escalated quickly, faster than anyone would imagine. Number 3. The start of World War I. The war was started by one man named Gavrilo Princip. June 28, 1914 marked the pivotal moment that set World War I into motion. In Sarajevo, Bosnia, Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria and his wife were assassinated by Gavrilo Princip, a member of a Serbian nationalist group. This act was intended to protest Austro-Hungarian rule over Bosnia. After 1 week following the assassination, Austria-Hungary was outraged. They saw this as an opportunity to suppress the Serbian threat. The tension was palpable across Europe as countries started to take sides. Austria-Hungary, backed by Germany, was determined to confront Serbia, which had Russia's support. After the next 2 weeks, on July 23rd, Austria-Hungary issued an ultimatum to Serbia with harsh demands. Surprisingly, Serbia agreed to most, but not all terms. This partial compliance wasn't enough for Austria-Hungary. A week later, on July 28th, exactly a month after the assassination, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. Russia, committed to defending Serbia, began to mobilize its army. Germany, allied with Austria-Hungary, viewed Russia's mobilization as an act of war. By August, less than 6 weeks after the assassination, the world was in turmoil. Germany declared war on Russia on August 1st. France, allied with Russia, was drawn in against Germany. Germany's invasion of Belgium to reach France brought Britain into the war against Germany. The world was now divided into the Allied powers and the Central powers. During next months, the war rapidly expanded beyond Europe. Colonies of the European powers were pulled into the conflict. The war had far-reaching consequences. Millions lost their lives, countries were left in ruins. The financial impact was staggering, running into billions of dollars. The world's political landscape was forever altered. What began as a political assassination by a group of young nationalists spiraled into a global conflict. The war resulted in approximately 17 million deaths and 20 million wounded, showcasing the devastating impact of political alliances and militarism. Number 2. The domino effect of the collapse of Lehman Brothers. In the first week of September 2008, Lehman Brothers, a giant in the banking sector, faced alarming declines in its stock value. A significant contributor to this was the bursting of the U.S. housing bubble, leading to catastrophic losses in mortgage payments. Rumors swirled about Lehman's extensive exposure to depreciated real estate assets. Despite attempts to find a buyer or secure government aid, solutions remained elusive. By the second week, panic gripped the market. Lehman's stock plummeted further as investors lost confidence. Simultaneously, global markets started feeling the ripple effect, with stock indices worldwide showing steep declines. Major banks began reassessing their exposure to Lehman, and credit became tighter, choking Lehman's short-term funding sources. On September 15, 2008, Lehman Brothers filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, marking the largest bankruptcy filing in U.S. history. The news sent shockwaves through the global financial system. Stock markets around the world nosedived, and other financial institutions braced for impact. A shocking aspect of the Lehman Brothers collapse was the sheer speed of its downfall. Within weeks, a firm with assets of $639 billion and a history of 158 years disintegrated, affecting millions of people worldwide. This collapse had enormous domino effect in the global economy. It intensified the 2008 financial crisis, leading to massive bailouts of financial institutions in the US and Europe. The credit crunch hit businesses hard, leading to layoffs and increased unemployment rates. The real estate market suffered greatly, with property values dropping and foreclosures rising. After this event, in the months that followed, governments worldwide injected billions into their economies to stave off a complete financial collapse. The Lehman Brothers failure highlighted the need for stringent financial regulations, leading to reforms like the Dodd-Frank Act in the US. The event also led to a re-evaluation of risk management in financial institutions globally. Number 1. The Arab Spring. In December 2010 in Tunisia, a simple but life-changing event unfolds. Mohamed Bouazizi, a street vendor, faces police harassment and humiliation. Unable to bear the injustice, he sets himself on fire in protest. This act of desperation resonates deeply with many across the Arab world, tired of oppression and economic hardship. Within 2 weeks, Bouazizi's act becomes a catalyst. In Tunisia, people flood the streets demanding change. The government, caught off guard, tries to quell the unrest but fails. The protests grow, fueled by years of pent-up frustration. 4 weeks after the event, the unrest in Tunisia ignites similar movements in other Arab countries. Social media plays a critical role, helping to organize protests and spread the word beyond borders. The world watches in awe as a single act sparks a regional upheaval. A month later, Egypt joins the wave. Thousands gather in Cairo's Tahrir Square, calling for the end of President Hosni Mubarak's 3-decade-long rule. The protests are massive, relentless, and at times met with brutal force. The movement spreads into Libya, Yemen, Syria, and other Arab nations. Each country's struggle is unique, but the underlying causes are similar: corruption, unemployment, human rights abuses, and the yearning for dignity and democratic reform. 5 months after the event, leaders begin to fall. Tunisia's president Zine El Abidine Ben Ali flees to Saudi Arabia. Egypt's Mubarak steps down. Libya's Gaddafi faces a violent revolt. The world is shocked as long-established rulers are toppled one after the other. The initial hope of swift change gives way to the harsh realities of political transition. Egypt struggles with leadership issues. Libya descends into civil war. Syria's protests turn into a prolonged and devastating conflict. The Arab Spring has a significant economic fallout. Tourism plummets. Foreign investments freeze. The region faces billions of dollars in losses. The turmoil disrupts lives and livelihoods, leaving a lasting impact on the economies of these nations. Thousands lose their lives in the conflicts that follow. Many more are injured or displaced. The human cost of the Arab Spring is immense and heart-wrenching, with families torn apart and futures uncertain. The Arab Spring leaves a complex legacy. It brings down dictators but also leads to the instability, conflict, and in some cases harsher regimes. Yet, it also demonstrates that the power of collective action and the relentless human spirit in face of oppression.